Hello everyone, it's Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studio. We are back. It is Wednesday. What day is it? Holy guacamole, it's already the 17th of June. I feel like June just started yesterday. Wow. All right, well, we're working on all kinds of crazy projects here in the studio. And hey Rima, nice to see you here. And we'll have some new content going up on our YouTube channel. We ask you to sprinkle the love on our videos so that we can grow and do contests. And I am planning a pretty good sized contest coming up later in the month, towards the end, maybe early July. And if you all would share and sprinkle and do all that good stuff, we can grow this and make the contest even better. Okay, so into the work of the day. Well, a couple days ago I did a video showing foiling my nails, and I do that on a regular basis. But I do it over my acrylics, and I have a UV light and the UV glue and all that specialty stuff that allows me to do my nails this way. So the question has been floating around, can you use our foil adhesive and regular nail polish to do this? And the very simple answer is yes. I know other people have tried it unsuccessfully, but I did it, and I actually am doing a challenge by soaking the nails that I did this on in a bucket of water. So I'll angle this down just to give you a quick one. The video is not going to be posted up for a little while. It's going to be posted on our YouTube channel, and maybe I'll share it here. So what I did is I bought inexpensive acrylic nail tips from the actually from Walgreens, and put a layer of nail polish on, put a layer of foil adhesive on, put the foil on, and then sealed it in a top coat. And what it's been doing in here is, the biggest issue with adhesives like this is moisture. Guess what? These have been sitting in water for over 3 hours. No issues with the adhesion. So if you are at all interested, and I'm just going to dump them back in the water because like they're little buggies. So if you're all interested in that, go check out that video. I will be posting it shortly. I just had to do all the editing on it, so it'll be up in an hour. And we're going to move on to our next project. So here's my dream box. Now yesterday when we did the live, I saw it said, hey, I got it on here, it's all fine and dandy, but now I need to know what to do with it. Well, I want to put texture medium over this, or I want to put gel medium or V-gel. I haven't decided which, but I also don't want to lose this. So the first thing I did was I took some press and seal, I laid it over the top with my ruler. I cut out the one area that I wanted to make sure had press and seal applied, and then I'm going to go back and make sure I've pushed it down just a little bit so it sticks on there. I don't want anything as strong as tape. Tape is going to grab onto it and will end up ripping up the foil. So I just wanted a little press and seal to give a little protection. And the next thing I'm going to do is take a cup, and hang on, I got to reach it, and my arms aren't long enough. Grab our gel medium. Grab my little bottle of water because I need a sip here. Hey Leslie, nice to see you. I need a little sip there. And grab some of our pigments. And one of the surprise discount announcements that we're making today is all our pigments for both resin and water-based products are on sale from now through the 22nd, 10% off. The discount code is color10. So if you enter color10 at checkout, you get 10% off of both resin pigments and water-based pigments. So definitely check it out. We don't do a whole lot of sales and stuff on things like this, so it's definitely worth looking into. Other one that we're doing is a summer sale, our summer June sale on foils. Foils are 10% off, any and all foils, and that one is Splash 10. I will, of course, post those codes in the I will post the codes in the post once I've finished the live. And somebody asked, can you use these foils on clothes? Yes, you can. They require a different adhesive than we're working with today. We do have those adhesives, both the spray and the gel, and actually a liquid. They're all on our site. And they are for fabric and they're washable, and all of our foils are noted on our website. I went through and specifically checked them all, that every foil that is good for fabric is marked as such, because not all foils are fabric friendly. They won't hold up in the wash and they will crack badly with wearing. All right, so the color I'm adding in here is Beach House Blue. It's a pretty bluish color that'll look nice on here. Hey Michael, nice to see you. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little more Beach House Blue. And these pigments have a really beautiful metallic sheen when they dry. Now, fair warning, these are not super light fast, so don't stick them in windows, don't put them outside. The colors will not hold up well to that, but they are gorgeous. Interior use, you'll get better color retention if you use a top coat that has UV protectant in it, but it will still fade. Now that color is just a little greener than I want, so I'm going to take a little bit of my flame blue, and don't ask me how I know how much pigment to put in, because I put it in until it's enough. Enough what? Until it's enough the right color, until it's rich enough, until it's dark enough, until it's enough. And I don't know when that is until I've started mixing it. I have to see the colors. So, unless I have created a formula that I have to match exactly, most of my mixing is by eye. Now this is going to look palish and pale blue. And it will dry richer. But if you look in here, you can see that the pigments are blossoming, which means I stirred this and stirred this and stirred this, but the pigments are grabbing moisture from the base color. So they have to be allowed to bloom a little bit to get the best color out of it, and so you don't have a streaky finish. Sometimes I don't bother to wait and let it bloom, because I like that kind of streakiness, but not everybody does. And I respect that. Just because I like it doesn't mean everybody else has to. So we put Abigail flowers on here. I have a piece of press and seal over it. I'm losing my memory, guys. I just can't remember anything. I'm going to take our branching out stencil, and I'm just going to set it over this. And then I'm going to take this and stir it up again, because I can still see some of that pigment's blooming just a little bit. And if you don't understand by blooming, it means that the dry pigments absorb moisture and the color is starting to bloom out into the medium, meaning I'll see darker spots of wherever that specific pigment, or more intense colored spots of wherever that pigment happened to be. Okay, so I'm going to take a whole hotel room key. I'm just pushing this down. I have put so much spray adhesive on this stencil since we got them in. I'm just kind of handle it gently instead of putting more, because it'll just push too hard on things. I might be lying though. I might want to go get some adhesive, because no, I think I can get it down. Well, if I can't, we'll know in a minute. And I'm being very careful. I am not pushing and scraping this through, because as you saw, I don't have, I don't have a lot of adhesive on here. I don't want to squish it and have it go under. And I'm just kind of handling this gently so I try to get as few little bleed as possible. If I'd put more adhesive on, if there's any bleed, I'd have gotten less. But I was pretty good, so I managed not to get really any bleed except for in the one place where it doesn't matter, which is right there over the press and seal. So I'm going to set this aside for the moment. Now this is going to obviously have to dry before I can do another layer, but I do need to pull the press and seal up because otherwise I could make it a permanent part of the finish. And I just want to stay clean right there. See, cute little trick for you. Look how easily that worked. Oh, woohoo! Leslie, I know you're talking about foils. Unfortunately, the thing is a little too far away for me to read everything you're saying. It doesn't let me open up the whole paragraph. All right, so I gotta let that dry, but I'll check it out later. And if there was something you're interested in with the foils, Leslie, like I said, we have a sale on foils going now. So here's my wish box, which I just, again, really like how it came out. But I want to block off this so I can put another texture over the top. And so I'm going to take a little piece of press and seal. And I'll show you how I did it on the other one. Let me get a piece of press and seal off of here. I use press and seal like Frisket paper, which is a low adhesive mask, which is pretty much what press and seal is. But it's a lot less expensive, I think, personally, than buying Frisket. So I've got my press and seal. I'm going to press it over. I'm just going to lay it down over my word here. Excuse me, dry throat. Talking too much. Mostly to myself. All right, so I've got that laid down. I know where the edge of the foils are. I know how to, I want my lettering square, and I'm eyeballing this. If you're not comfortable eyeballing, don't do it the way I'm doing it. Actually measure it out. Be a little more officious than I'm being. Let's get that right there. And then we're just going to go right here. This is a very clean, very new X-Acto blade on here on my knife, just because it will make it much easier to cut through something that's this thin. When you're cutting through something this fine, you don't need a butcher knife, you need a razor blade. So, and then I just peel it all off. So now that's laid down nice and neat, and it's blocking that, but I can still use product over it. So I'm going to set that aside. I've got more cups. So I'm going to take this cup and let's see, some glass bead gel. Oh, and I just stuck my elbow into the project that I was trying to let dry. I am so smart. See, I stuck my elbow in there. I am a genius. So I'm going to wipe that off because I can. Where's my water? Oh, the water's where the nails are. I'm just going to wipe that one spot that I really smeared badly right there. And I can re-Frisket this once it's dry. See, the nice thing is I didn't ruin it. I just stuck my elbow in it. Now what I did to my blouse, that's another story. I haven't looked yet. Fortunately, the colors match. All right, let me go grab my bead gel. This is our Artsyville bead gel, glass bead gel. Now I can use it plain out of the can. I can mix it into stuff. I think today I might just use it plain instead of mixing, because I always mix stuff in. And I think for this, because the pattern's so intense, let's just use the bead gel without the anything added to it. Okay, so now I need another stencil. Let's go grab all my stencils from over here. These are stencils that we here at Painted Studio. I keep trying to call myself Jennifer's business's name, and that's not. I just take it as flattery, Jennifer. It's how it's meant. Okay, we have Elizabeth's lace, which I think will look nice on there. It's an organic pattern, and because this will dry clearly, or dry clear, we should have a nice pattern release on this. All right, let me go get a little spray, because this one is definitely too dried out to just sit on there. Every time I do something, like the lid sticks or something strange happens, so it takes a second longer than I expected to, and you're left staring at an empty screen. All right, so we have the frisket on here. We're gonna lay this down. I wanna let that air for just a second longer, and I need to get a card out anyway. Let's take a little of this. Oh yeah, that's good and creamy, so we're in good shape on that. I like to check the consistency too, to make sure these things haven't dried out in ways that I'm going to have to contend with. Okay, so we're going to set this down, and this will cover the entire top. You know, if I want, I can go and do the sides as well. And if you notice, I'm buttering this on. I'm not scraping it, because scraping creates scrapes. So if you see those drag marks there, that's what the problem is. You want to butter it. So I use these, I use this is an old Starbucks card. Use all of that stuff and smooth it across. You're building it up about the thickness of a single piece of glass bead. And yeah, I know that looked like a whole lot of product, because it was. And I'm just going to scrape it through here. So when you do stuff like this, it really looks like you're using a lot of product, but honestly you're not, because so much of it sits on top of the stencil. Okay, so I've got it all smoothed in here. Get up to my edges. Checking my corners, because I don't, this isn't taped off. I'm sitting at an odd angle. I'm not over it like I normally would be, because otherwise you all couldn't see it. So put some light over here. All right, so peel that back. Gently, gently, gently. Now that leaves a very dense pattern on this. But what you have to remember is that this bead gel dries clear. The acrylic binder in it dries clear. So all you're going to see is the bead texture. And you can see I'm scraping it off from around the edges. And in a second, I will also run an X-Acto blade around the edge there so that it doesn't seal it closed. But before I do that, I need to clean off all this extra stuff and put it back in the container for the bead gel. So I just regained about 50% of what I troweled out, which is exactly what I expect. Set that down there. Let me close a few things off, and then we'll go to clean that edge up, and I'll show. We'll pull the frisket masking, which is not frisket, it's press and seal, but frisket is a fancy word for press and seal pretty much. So I'm going through this edge right here with my knife. I'm not cutting, but what I'm doing is making sure that that bead gel isn't sealing up my box here. So I got to run the knife along the edge to cut through it, so that when I come back at it later, it's not all screwed up. Or at least if it sticks a little, I've already set it up so that I can pull it apart better. All right, now I just gotta pull the frisket. Come on, I know you're there. I can see you. Okay, and I will set this one somewhere else where I won't stick my elbow in it. And I almost wish I had actually tinted this white because it's so pretty with the white, but it's going to also be pretty with just the clear. So we're going to set that one aside. And I have no idea where I'm going with my next ones, but we're going to bring another box over, work for a minute, and then call it a day. Okay, so this is my Hope box that we started on the very first one of these. So I thought I had something. Had I had something, I'd be fine. It's a good thing everything's relatively close to me. Okay. Foil adhesive. This is our Artsy foil adhesive. I just pour it in smaller jars so that when I'm working, I'm not pulling out of the gallon, because I have a studio gallon that I work from. So we foiled this, we put the word Hope on it. Now I gotta figure out what to do with the inside. So we're gonna do this a little differently from the way I normally do things. This will be very cute though. I have an idea. At least I have the beginnings of an idea. I'm not sure where it's all going to end up, but we're coating the inside of this box with foil adhesive. And the nice thing is foil adhesive is great for foil, but you can use it for other adhesives. I use it for adhesive for glitter all the time. I often use it for the starting adhesive for doing like decoupage. I can put this on the surface, lay my papers down, they'll be stable and placed, and then I can use Set Coat Clear over them. Actually makes things very easy doing a decoupage, where sometimes when you're doing it and your papers are sliding around and you just wish, God, I wish the surface would just grab it and keep it here. Well, now you can make that happen. Now you'll notice I'm not doing the lid. It's because I haven't decided where I'm going with the lid yet. I might put a little image on it. I might do something different in there. I haven't decided yet. But for now, we're going to do this part of the box. Get all the extra out of there. I just like to keep brushing until I think I've got everything covered. I just like to go back and forth and make sure I don't have any rollback, anything strange happening in places that I'm not aware of. Okay, let me throw that to the side for a sec. I'm trying to keep track of what has to go in the sink after I'm done so I don't ruin a tool because I've not been paying attention. All right, I'm gonna go grab something. I'll be right there. Okay, we're going to be using some more glitter. This is, what color is this? Perfectly Pink. Embella Mirrored Glitter. This is a line that I'm looking to bring in. And I'm just going to pour this in here. Now, I know I could have waited until this was drier, but I'm not. Why? Because I find, believe it or not, the coating ends up denser if I put it in while it's wet. And you just kind of keep rolling it around and shaking it until it covers almost everything, and then you might have to go back in with more. I think I got to put a little more in here. I'll even go in with my fingers because the glitter acts like a dry lubricant, and so I can slide the glitter across the wet surface and still come out with completely dry hands from doing this. Let's see here, we're going with our pink glitter lining. And then I just kind of go in with my fingers. I don't know if you can see this. Let me get this so you can see what I'm doing. I gotta get me at the angle, I gotta get the camera at the angle, gotta get the box at the right angle. Everything's angular and I'm a round person. Alright, last of it goes here. Alright. Dump the extra back in here. Now you might notice that we're also getting it sticking on the lid, which is actually what I want to have happen, because doing this, the glitter will grab into any place that the foil adhesive didn't grab foil, and it just adds to the shimmer and the dimension of the look. And then I do it on the sides. And you notice I'm on paper, so when this is done, I will lift my paper up and shake all this glitter back into the jar. So I'm really, even though it looks like I'm being extravagant and wasteful, I'm actually not wasting a darn thing. Okay. And I think this is going to be one of those that needs the washi tape on the back, because you can see where the paper hinge is starting to crack. That's not a big deal. I can do that. All right, so we've gotten this all done. Jump out all the extra glitter. And I'll let it dry. Now, this won't go out this way. This will end up being sealed up. It'll flatten the glitter shine, but at least every time you stick your hand in there, you won't get a handful of pink glitter. So let's move some of this wet and sticky stuff out of the way so I can clean up my glitter mess. At least I hope I can clean my glitter mess up. It's always questionable. So I hope everybody is staying safe and well, but taking a chance to get at least outside in their backyards and enjoy the nice weather. I don't know about you all personally. My life has kind of shrunk down between the studio, the house, and the drugstore or Home Depot. Those are the places I go the most. All right, let me flip up here. Okay. So that was just a fun little easy. We're just working on projects bit by bit. And again, I will remind you. Okay, where did I put the thing? Here it is. Posting the video on YouTube about how to do your actual nails with this and have it last and be a great look. That was one of the less successful ones. Let me show you one of the good ones. Of course, they're all at the bottom. There we go. Look how great that looks. This has been sitting now for a couple hours in water. So you can do it, and you can seal them, and you can use our foil adhesive to do your nails. You can create wonderful, fun boxes out of cigar boxes, turning them into wish boxes. We got all kinds of projects going on around here. Who knows what I'll come up with tomorrow. All right, everybody, have a great afternoon. Share the love. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Wave your wand, pass it around. Remember, discount codes. For foils, it's color 10. So you select your foils, and at checkout, enter color 10. For pigments, oh, I'm sorry, I'm giving you the wrong one. For pigments, it's color 10. Use that at checkout, both for the resin pigments and the water-based pigments. Our pigments are from Primary Elements or Resinars, or our foils, which you will use Splash 10. Please let me say I'm telling you that right, because I wrote it down. Yes, see? Splash 10 foils, color 10 pigments. I don't know how they let me out in public anymore. Anyway, use discounts, go shopping, enjoy the sale. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Goodbye.